Welcome to the Sports Machine with Brian and Dean. Wednesday, February 3rd. Recording in Dallas, Texas. Kind of a slower weekend. The week off from the NFL playoffs and then the Pro Bowl.
Right.
Definitely going to get into that.
Yes.
Conversations started for the Super Bowl. Cam Newton has been the center of attention so far early in the week. Definitely going to have to get into that, unfortunately. Some big news in boxing. Amir Khan, Canelo Alvarez, and then the NBA. You know, ESPN has been ranking their top 100 greatest NBA players of all time, and somebody has popped up. So it's time. It's time for that. And also, we'll just go around the NBA and the current status. And of course, somebody's gonna get really low.
Usually I'm looking forward to a great show, but I'm most definitely looking forward to the NBA all-time ranking because before the show, we had some discussions about some players who are ahead of certain players. And yeah, you had some feelings towards that, so that's one of those segments where I guess we get to see, you know, Brian Franklin in rare form. You know, usually I call him B. Frank, but I had to drop the whole name, Brian Franklin. You know, he's going full transformation.
Spoiler alert.
Full transformation. So stay tuned.
A top 10 current point guard, top 10, maybe top 5, just outside of my top 5 currently, is in the top 30 all time.
Ahead of some future Hall of Famers at that. So once again, that's just some teasers to let you know what to look forward to later on in the show. But
let's start with the NFL.
Yes, sir.
Pro Bowl. Pro Bowl is kind of it's one of the weaker All-Star games. For the game itself, Team Urban beat Team Rice 49-27. Team Rice struggled with turnovers.
Right.
You're in an all-star game. How are you going to turn the ball over 7 times as a team?
Well, that's what happens when you threaten your receiver. And you Eli Manning, who had some of those turnovers. You know, it also helps when you got, you know, Richard Sherman on one side of the football, completely locking everything down.
Rogers Cromartie had 2 interceptions. Sean Lee had an interception.
Exactly.
Harrison Smith, Jarrell Casey, Navarro Bowman, interceptions.
You know what else I noticed about this game? That the bigger team, the team with the bigger receivers won this game. Mainly because they could go over the top. And what I noticed was how, and once again, this is just an exhibition game at its finest. Well, I won't call it at its finest, but it's a really good exhibition game. So, but I noticed how Russell Wilson was letting it fly. Like, he was taking all the chances. Like, you know, usually he's a pretty conservative guy. You know, he doesn't necessarily throw a lot of, you know, deep passes. Not that he has usually the deep throws that he throws. It's because
scramble.
Exactly, like broken play. You know, a play broke down, then all of a sudden, you know, he makes a play and boom, there it is. You know, 40 yards, 50 yards, but no.
Russell Wilson did get the MVP for offense.
Right. Just throwing BBs, making it happen. I mean, each one of the receivers, I believe, scored. From Julio Jones, I believe, Allen Hurns. They also had DeAndre Hopkins,
Allen Robinson.
Yeah.
Delaney Walker, tight end.
Mm-hmm. Who's actually had a pretty doggone good year.
Todd Gurley got a receiving touchdown. Devontae Freeman receiving touchdown.
Right.
Just outside of the top 10, Julio Jones got a touchdown. On the defensive side, they gave the MVP to Michael Bennett, who had 1 tackle and 1 sack.
Mm-hmm.
Why? We had somebody with 2 interceptions, and then you had
Right.
4 other people with interceptions.
One of Rogers Cromartie's interceptions was actually he played the ball so well, right? He caught it over the shoulder as though he was a receiver. Like that's the first thing I thought about. I was like, I mean, I know Rogers Cromartie. He's about 6'1". He's like 6'1" if I'm not mistaken. He's one of the bigger cornerbacks in the NFL, a lot like Richard Sherman.
6'2".
He's 6'2". I undershot him. My bad. Once again, one of the bigger cornerbacks in the league. But once again, I watched how he played the ball, and I was thinking to myself, I was like, man, now if you could make catches like that, it was like a lot like the commentator said, is he could have had a lot more interceptions that he had this year, but some just hit him flat in the hands and straight drops. So I guess what I'm saying is I'm coattailing you on the issue because I can understand why you feel that way. Like I said, Forrest, this one guy, he's made 2 defensive plays, where this guy's made 1 defensive play.
I mean, Roger Cromartie had more tackles than Michael Bennett too.
Right.
I mean, he didn't have a sack, but
I think this was just the case. Once again, the Pro Bowl offense and defensive MVPs is like fan friendly.
I'm not a huge fan on fan voting for anything ever.
Right.
I think the fact that they vote for All-Star games is ridiculous.
You know, I could see that, but like the thing for me is like at the end of the day, I always games like this, I always want to be entertained, and that was some entertainment value. And like I said, for when it comes to like voting awards, you can also say that with like what's that, the NBA's game where they have the NBA celebrity basketball game.
That's celebrity though.
Yeah.
That's celebrity.
But it's
I
not-
don't like fan voting for the dunk contest. I think it's the most ridiculous thing ever. Blake Griffin went off of some BS. I
Yeah,
don't call it what it was.
yeah.
He jumped over the hood of a car.
Not over.
I'm
the
sorry.
top.
I've seen people in the streets jump over the hood of a car.
Once again, I can't argue with that because I like I said for I thought it was better dunkers off in that contest, but like I said for even in this year's All-Star game, like with Rogers Cromartie, even Richard Sherman, Sean Lee, those guys that other guys that made plays had better impacts, but hey, you can't knock
Like Navarro Bowman had 4 tackles and an interception.
balling out there. It's funny because I forgot how good Navarro Bowman was because he played for like a putrid team this year.
He did.
Like, yeah, real talk. Like, he played for a horrible
There's
team.
something to
So
say about that.
I was like, wow, like, dang, Navarro, like, you was probably the only bright spot that's left over from, that team. And let's not forget, he suffered a real horrible knee injury too, man. It was gruesome knee injury. So to see him back in the Pro Bowl, man, it was great to see him back there. But do you like this? Do you like the Pro Bowl being back in Hawaii?
I think it should be in Hawaii. Yes.
Right. Because I remember, what was that last year? I think it was in Arizona or something like that. They had, for like the past 2 seasons, they had moved it around or something like that.
It's stupid.
Right.
Just have the Pro Bowl in Hawaii.
Right.
I'm not trying to be a hater on anybody, but
As we go into the world of the haters.
at some point, don't you have a little bit of pride in the fact that you're letting 7 touchdowns go passing if you're the secondary?
Yeah.
I mean, I understand it's an exhibition game, but at some point you gotta be like, all right,
Enough's enough.
we need to stop this.
Like, enough's enough. You got to start laying heads. But I think that
Like,
goes
every
back.
single quarterback got 2 touchdowns. And Russell Wilson had 3.
Wow.
Teddy Bridgewater had 2, and Jameis Winston had 2.
Man.
Total as a team, they went 20 for 32, 406 yards, 7 touchdowns, 1 interception as a quarterback core.
Wow.
On the other side, they went 29 for 49, 396, 3 touchdowns, 6 interceptions.
That's what happens when they're playing from behind. They was playing from behind pretty much the whole game. Like, Derek Carr came in. He made a few plays, but he was responsible for some of the turnovers.
Tyrod Taylor, 3 interceptions.
Yeah. trying to do too much. Like, I actually thought he was gonna come in and scramble
That's
more.
what I say. If he just would have ran, they would have won the game.
Yeah,
Because you can't stop a scrambling running back in the Pro
Right.
Bowl or quarterback in the Pro Bowl.
You know what else?
Nobody's gonna lay the wood on him. And
There it is. You stole it right out of my mouth. I was about to say it was a couple of times where even with Teddy Bridgewater, that was one play I remember specifically. I was like, wow, if that was a real game, he'd have got blasted so bad because he didn't see it coming. But I forgot who it was. Someone came from around his blind side, and they just kind of like just nudged him, bumped him. It was like, yo, he'd have been done, like
it would have gone
out of there. Yeah, like concussion protocol. Like, that's how he would have got blasted.
So, all right, somebody get Will Smith in here.
Right.
We need to make sure we're good.
Real talk.
All right, moving on from non-serious talk into serious talk on the Sports Machine. Sports Machine with Brian Dean just went over the NFL Pro Bowl. Having a little fun with it. Nothing too serious. Moving into serious talk on the Sports Machine. You know, something you just really don't like talking about on the show
Right.
is, race.
Yeah.
We will touch on it when it's major, and right now it's a major deal.
Right.
With Cam Newton. Everyone remembers last week when he spoke about he's an African-American quarterback, and that might scare some people.
Right.
And now he's getting asked questions about it, and he doesn't want to answer the questions about it.
Right.
I don't think he meant any harm by it. I don't think he meant to cause a stir. I think it was just a misspeaking of the words. But at this point,
Pandora's box been open.
You can't really go back on it now.
Right. You know, my whole knock on this issue is the fact that, we had a quarterback that just retired so many years ago, spent the majority of his years in Green Bay, then left and went to the Jets and went and had a good run and took the Minnesota Vikings to a deep run in the playoffs against the Saints, who then turned around and won the Super Bowl that one year. And if you don't know who I'm talking about Brett Favre.
He was involved in a scandal, by the way, for people that forgot that.
Yeah, the whole in
picture,
New York.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean.
But the reason why I brought Brett Favre up is because one of the things people loved about Brett Favre was the fact that he did what?
He celebrated. He was like a kid on the field.
There it is. And so, needless to say, like, that's when I see Cam Newton. Like, granted, when he was, when they beat the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day, you know how I felt about it. But at the same time, I can appreciate the way he plays the game. I can appreciate him maturing and becoming a better quarterback and a much better team player. Because that was one of the knocks on Cam Newton early on in his career, was the fact that it was the fact that he wasn't a great, that when they lost, he would go off to the side and start sulking and he was just doing things that you wouldn't expect, the face of a franchise to do. Once again, with being young at times like that, you when you get older, you tend to learn from those past mistakes. And I think he's done a great job of doing that. And another thing that he's done is he's included his teammates more in the way they celebrate and the way they do things, which is one of the knocks on Cam Newton early on in his career. He was basically looked at as a narcissist, like a guy who likes all the attention, got to have all the attention on him. Now, I've never felt that way, but it was perceived that way. And so to see this team go from, last year, barely making it in the playoffs, coming out of a bad division, and this year not even looked at as even a favorite, as a team that they was looked at as a team that at best was going to be a 500 team and miss the playoffs. So to see this team go from where they are now, but mainly because of his play, the way he's elevated his play, I sit back and I think, I'm like, well, what's so different? Because Brett Favre used to do the same thing. Brett Favre used to run around, take off his helmet, and do a lot of things. Once again, I don't understand it, but then I also understand that a lot of older generations just don't understand Cam Newton's generation. You know what I'm saying? Like, or where he's coming from when he do a lot of things. Everybody thinks that everybody should do things like Peyton and Brady. Once again, I mean, Cam he's his own man.
I mean, Tom Brady's I mean, people like to act like Tom Brady isn't a fiery dude, but he gets to celebrate and he gets to John too.
Oh man, let's not talk about the Gronk spikes he tried to do. Right.
Let's say he's one of the more fiery quarterbacks in the league.
But that's what people view it as, is him being fiery. But when Cam is doing it,
Cam Newton's not even fiery. He just celebrates.
Right. He just does dance. Right. And so people look at it as, oh, well, they're throwing it up in the face. I'm like, wow. Like,
he doesn't mouth it to him like Tom Brady do. I like Tom Brady. I'm a Tom Brady fan. I like the fact that he jawed guys.
I don't.
Same thing with Philip Rivers. I like the fact Philip Rivers yells at people.
Once again, I have no knock on it, because I understand that this is a professional sport, and you got a lot of guys who've done nothing but win their whole lives. You get what I'm saying? They've been, Mr. Football in high school. Some of these guys have won Heisman trophies like Cam Newton. Some of these guys are, have played in Super Bowls, or teams that, or playing for a team that has played in the Super Bowl but has never won one. So I don't knock anybody for being competitive. My whole knock on his own knock is for everybody who tries to knock him and say, well, he's throwing it up in people's faces when this guy, he does everything you can ask for in the face of your franchise, from a charity standpoint, from being a leader on the team, and also being a leader out there on the field. Like, that's my only knock on it. Like, to me, that's where it all stems from. It stems from the fact that this guy, he goes out there, he celebrates and does it his way. Now, like you said before, I don't agree with the whole, I'm an African-American quarterback. I was like, wish he wouldn't open up that can of worms, but it's open now. So it's like you said before, now he's going to have to answer for it.
When I look at Cam Newton, you know how good of a dude he is? The fact that his biggest scandal is the fact that he dances.
Exactly.
His biggest scandal is the fact that he mentioned that he's an African-American quarterback. It's not nothing he did off field. He does not have problems with his teammates.
Right.
We're talking about dancing and him mentioning he's an African-American quarterback, which we all know he's implying that the stereotype of athletic quarterback, which is probably what he more meant to say.
Right.
If you're an athletic quarterback.
Right. And even then, it's like, you still got to look at Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is a guy who kind of leans more on his faith, but people can also relate more to Russell Wilson. So that's why I said I don't like it looked at as a black and white type of deal, because a lot of people can relate to Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson is he's a young guy with the old soul. Like dude still listens to Frank Sinatra. I've never listened to Frank Sinatra a day in my life. Like, maybe on like a few Christmas songs, stuff like that, but Russell Wilson can sit there, he can mouth and sing you a whole song of Frank Sinatra, which I find amazing. I don't have nothing on Frank Sinatra. It's not my era of music, but younger generations, and myself included, I'm 31 years old. I can still relate to Cam. Cam is like 26 or 27 years old. I understand where they're coming from. Like, it's almost not so different from how primetime was. Like, Dion was, when he was in Atlanta and when he was in San Francisco, when he was in Dallas, he was a bit flashy. He rubbed a lot of people the wrong way, but the only difference is some people expect that out of their cornerbacks, out of their receivers. Some people don't expect that out of the top spot. You know what I mean?
Not a quarterback.
Exactly.
Just because it's under so much pressure, you're always putting yourself in a bad position if you are that flashy.
Yeah.
But I don't have a problem with it. I like it.
Right on.
I encourage people to celebrate, because that's what the game was founded off of.
Exactly.
It was fun, but now, no fun league.
Right.
Can't celebrate, can't do anything.
Especially when the one team, the only way they celebrate is how Marshawn do it. He just walk up to his teammate, stops him, and just does a handshake. Like,
if he does anything else, he's going to get fined.
Yeah.
They looking for something to fine him for.
Yeah. Whether it's cleats, whether it's cleats or anything, they was ready to fine him for those 14 carat.
They fined him for a hat last year. Remember that they fined him for a hat they wore during media day, like
a hat and a shirt. A hat and a shirt. That was another thing I wanted to ask you real quick, and it's kind of off topic. How do you feel about NFL Media Day?
It's the stupidest thing in the world.
I-
I dislike it strongly.
Okay.
I'll put it like that.
On a scale of 1 to 10. 10 being the strongest, 1 being the least.
9.5.
Wow.
Like, I really dislike it. Because what do we get out of this? Today we got something. This year we got something because Cam Newton had previously mentioned African American quarterback. Usually what we get stupid questions.
Yeah.
And we get Marshawn Lynch getting fined for hats.
Right.
In which he doesn't want to talk anyway. So
My deal,
it's more fun for the people that are there.
right, but as a fan, we don't get nothing out of it because we're not there.
Right. I guess if you're there, it's cool, but at the same time, I still don't think it is. Because if you're a professional reporter, you're sitting there and you have to listen to all these stupid questions, and you got a serious question you're trying to ask, and now the athlete's up there kind of frustrated because he's answering all these stupid questions, and now he's frustrated at you, and you didn't even do anything wrong.
Right. I'm not for or against it, and mainly because I remember last year, man. Either it was last year or it was the previous year at Media Day. Someone asked Richard Sherman a question. I'm gonna make it quick, and they was talking to him about what college athletes go through. And Richard Sherman goes and he basically lays out a schedule for the student athlete. You know how they go through weight training and then they got class, and then from weight training class, then they, you know. They go to a film study, from film study to practice. Then from practice, it's like, okay, all the lunchrooms and stuff like that may be closed. So the most they may get to themselves out of a full 24-hour day is maybe like an hour. An hour out of that day to themselves between trying to study, trying to make sure they get ready for the test, make sure that they're ready and know their assignments for the games on the weekends and things like that. Now, to me, like, whoever asked that question, man, like I like that question due to the fact that it gave me more insight onto what a student athlete goes through. And mainly he asked the guy who you admire from the standpoint is, like you said, he don't waste his words.
Oh yeah, I like Richard Sherman.
Right.
But I'm not hosting a whole day because one dude asked a good question.
Right.
Which this is a
topic. Every once in a while.
Let's just say that topic has been talked about so much, and everybody knows it's wrong, yet no one does anything about it. So there's no reason to even get into the NCAA. We know they're wrong.
Right.
We know they hustle players.
Right.
Student athletes, they're professionals.
Right. But once again, it was just one of those deals. It was one of those deals where I thought it was cool just because a lot of people who don't know, you know what I'm saying, did. But yeah, I got you.
Moving on from the NFL. Boxing news up next on Sports Machine. Sports Machine with Brian and Dean went over the NFL, Pro Bowl, Cam Newton, Media Day. Moving into boxing, a fight has been made between Canelo Alvarez and Amir Khan. Big in the boxing community, in my opinion. Because everyone was kind of wondering who Canelo was going to fight since
it's huge.
Pacquiao decided to fight Bradley.
Most definitely.
So it was kind of a question who Canelo will fight. And Golovkin, we kind of knew that wasn't going to happen right away.
Right.
He was going to have to fight somebody else.
And honestly, I'm glad it's not Golovkin right off the bat. Mainly because it's not that many big time fights like Golovkin and Alvarez out there. Like,
I don't know if Crawford fought Pacquiao, that would have been.
Oh yeah, that'd been huge. Once again, because we're boxing fans, we're boxing purists, so therefore, yeah, it's huge to us. But then, like, it's a lot of matches, like you said, for a 147-pound division, it's laced with just great talent.
I mean, you look at Pacquiao versus Bradley, that in itself is just
yeah. A lot of non-boxing purists are people who are not just followers of the sport. They don't like the fight, but for those of us who watch the two fights between Pacquiao and Bradley, actually is intrigued by this matchup.
I'm very intrigued because I thought Bradley won the second fight. I did.
You know what I found surprising about this about this Alvarez and Khan fight was the fact that it was quietly done. Like, I like it, and it's like, I like surprises like this. because once again, it give us something pretty doggone good to talk about. Because you're a big fan of Amir Khan.
I mean,
right?
I'm a big fan of Canelo Alvarez too. You know,
Right.
I had him over
Right.
Cotto before he fought Cotto.
Right.
And I think Alvarez will probably beat Amir Khan. But
being
Amir Khan's
somebody,
my dude.
right, and being somebody who's also practiced boxing yourself, you like hand speed, and can't nobody sit back and tell me Amir Khan doesn't have hand speed. Dude has some of the fastest hands in boxing. The only knock on him has been his chin. Can he take a solid punch? And well, with all due respect to the last guy he fought, what's his name? Anyway, dude was a pretty soft puncher. Only knocked out about 6 guys, and he was rocked by him. So, you know, that's kind of been the indictment on him. But I still kind of worry from the standpoint of he's used to fighting at 147
I mean,
pounds.
he's gonna have the same problem Cotto did.
Yeah.
That's why I think Alvarez will probably, at the end of the day, we're gonna go more in depth when the fight gets close. But Alvarez will probably win the fight, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Mainly, I mean, Khan's smaller, and I don't see his boxing technique isn't that superior to Alvarez's, to where he's gonna be able to run circles around him,
Right.
Mayweather style. I like his hand speed, but Alvarez is gonna get inside at some point and give him some hits.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think Khan can take it.
Oh, yeah. And the thing is Alvarez is a whole lot different from when he fought Mayweather.
Yes.
Like, from a technique standpoint, from not just a technique, but from the...
I wouldn't even be mad if Mayweather came out of retirement and fought Alvarez again.
Oh, me neither.
Because
Like,
the current Alvarez would be a really good fight.
Oh, me neither. I would have even been upset if he came out of retirement and fought this past Miguel Cotto again. Because prior to the Alvarez fight, Miguel Cotto was looking like, once again, a world beater. He looked like old Miguel Cotto, but once again, fighting another great fighter can make you look like you're a little bit pedestrian, like you shouldn't be in the ring with the guy. And unfortunately for Cotto, he looked like somebody who didn't deserve to be in the ring with Alvarez during moments of the fight. Like Cotto had his moments. We've already discussed this before. Cotto had his moments, but it just wasn't enough where you had a guy dominating pretty much half the round, and then you try to come on late. That's not enough to do it. But I think this matchup is it's interesting. Like, when I say I find it very interesting, because I want to see how Canelo Alvarez actually adjusts to a guy whose hands will be faster than his hands.
True that.
Like, I think in the tail of the tape here, hand speed goes to Amir Khan without question, in my opinion. Now, it could be I'm thinking about Amir Khan at 147 hand speed when he's also putting on a few extra pounds. So, I mean...
I don't see him losing that much hand speed because that is his game.
Right.
But he is moving up, and I think Alvarez might be able to push him around.
Yeah. Because, once again, you know, this fight is happening at 155, which is about 5, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's like 5 pounds under the 160-pound limit. It's like a pound over the junior middleweight. A couple of pounds over the junior middleweight limit. So, once again, I find it to be very compelling. It's actually going to be a pay-per-view fight that, you know, hey, you already know. Big time pay-per-view matches. Your boy down for ordering them. You're more than welcome to come over.
Oh, you know.
Man, get a popcorn ready. Get ready to watch a good fight. You know? And one thing I do give props to De La Hoya on is he usually has some pretty good undercards.
True.
At his fights. Like, you can sit there and you can watch each and every one of the undercards and actually be entertained.
In the past fight,
yeah.
I mean, them undercards were just as good as the main event.
Oh, exactly. Like, sit there and like, yo, it went from being a tactical to just a straight out brawl.
It did.
So,
I mean, were you surprised? Because we keep up with boxing, so we know about the beefs.
right.
We know about De La Hoya and Al Heyman and Golden Boy. And are you kind of surprised that this fight actually came through? And maybe that's why it was so quiet, because they didn't want Al Heyman kind of...
Yeah. Trying to get his hand. Exactly.
Because for those who don't know, Golden Boy has a $300 million.
$300 million suit against him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And And once again, I respect them for actually keeping this as quiet as they did. Because of the fact that, we just talked about 147 pound and like a lot of the talent that's in that 147 pound division, and a lot of these guys won't even get in the ring with each other, and it's mainly because of promoters having problem with this promoting company, or fighters only wanting their fighters to fight guys who is in their promotion. I think that's what's destroying boxing right now. It's not that boxers don't want to fight each other. It's the fact that if the promoters don't come together with something, then they ain't gonna make it happen. Like, that's what's destroying boxing.
It is.
Most people want to say, well, there's so many different titles out there, but eventually, I mean, they can begin to consolidate that down. Like, they can break that down, whereas one champion, one division, one champion. I mean, simple unifications by doing that. But once again, if this fighter here who's a WBO or WBA champion doesn't want to fight the WBC champion because a promoter's not wanting to get together, well, yeah, that's where the problem comes in at with boxing. And that's why you said, like, one of the things you did like about UFC. No.
I mean, I dislike Dana White because he hustles their fighters, but I like the fact that everything is under one, so you're going to get the fights.
Yeah, exactly.
Between the head people. And I'm not a martial arts watcher.
Right.
Just because the grappling, it's more grappling than it is stand up and,
right.
Just not my style.
Right.
I've seen them, and there's been good fights, but it's not
nothing like just stand.
It's just say, like, I'm a
stand-up fighter.
Right. I'm a fan of boxing.
Not to mention, boxing's also, it's a science. It's one of the most beautiful science in the world.
I'm also interested in another little take on this because Amir Khan's fighting Canelo Alvarez now. Will we ever see Amir Khan fight Kell Brook?
Oh, man.
Because if he loses this fight, he's not going to fight Kell Brook. And if he wins this fight, that will be a good setup.
Right.
Might be the best setup.
Man, it's one of them situations where the whole Amir Khan and Kell Brook is a whole lot like, in a way, it's like it's not as big, I guess, like when we talk about Mayweather and Pacquiao.
It's not as big, but
it's that big.
In Britain, it might be that big.
Yeah, exactly, because they are fellow countrymen, and to Kell Brook's, case, man, he's been calling Manny Pacquiao for quite some. I mean, he's been calling out Amir Khan for quite some time. He's been trying to get at Amir Khan for quite some time. Even when Amir Khan was becoming well known over here and winning titles, and for a while, Amir Khan was looking indestructible. Like once again, especially under Freddie Roach with the hand speed that he has, man, he was unstoppable for a brief minute. But I don't, like I said before, I don't think it happens this year. It may happen late next year, because it's gonna get to a point to where, look, like I said, for Amir Khan lose this fight, all right, you start to need some dough. You start to need to get into a good fight with the and having a good performance out of there. Because if he gets knocked out in this current fight, like, I don't think anybody else tries to even consider him in 147.
True. Especially if that boy Crawford will up.
Oh, yeah.
Nobody want no parts.
He said what you said 1,000 times. That's that dude there is mean, man. He a mean little dude. Mean little dude.
Moving on from boxing into the NBA on the Sports Machine. Sports Machine with Brian Dean went over to NFL, Pro Bowl, Cam Newton Media Day, and got into boxing talk with Amir Khan and Canelo Alvarez. Decided to fight on May 7th. Moving to the NBA, ESPN has been listing the top 100 greatest players of all time. And, of course, we had to discuss it. Anything to do with basketball list I usually have to discuss. We've gone through 41 through 100 notables. Allen Iverson came at 46. That is crucial in this upcoming debate. Starting number 40, Elvin Hayes. I'm not gonna bash Elvin Hayes, but I might be biased.
It's not biased.
Bob Cousy at 39. I'm not gonna diss Bob Cousy because I didn't get to watch him play.
He was at what? 39?
39. Bob Cousy.
Wow. But still, it's like, I think he has, 3 titles?
Bob Cousy at 6.
6.
Yeah.
Wow. For one of the best point guards to play. Like, one of the best point guards in Boston history.
Yeah.
And he's at 39?
39. There's gonna be some names ahead of him. They're gonna be kind of.
It's a bit disrespectful.
Nah.
And I've never watched Bob Cousy play, but I understand like the impact that he had on the game at the time he was playing in. I mean,
They call him Houdini of hardwood.
nice,
Of the hardwood. Like, come on.
nice.
38 Walt Frazier.
That's a nickname right there, Houdini of hard man. Whoever thought of that, yo?
Thumbs up.
Yes.
Thumbs up. 38 Walt Frazier.
Okay. I'm used to seeing him on the commercials with the whole, the Great Beard commercials. And like,
I'll take out those. 37 Rick Barry.
huh?
Rick Barry.
Rick Barry.
Yes.
Is he like the father and he had the sons? Like, it was John Barry and what was the other Barry used to play?
Rick Barry.
Huh? I think never mind. Okay.
He was good. I'd still take out Iverson.
I'll take out an Iverson too.
36 Clyde Drexler.
I like Clyde. I like Clyde.
Clyde, too.
I'm down for Clyde.
I like Clyde.
But
I'll
not
take
more
out
than
Iverson.
Iverson. There it is.
I'm not dissing. But,
This is what the list is missing.
yes. 35. This one's close for me.
Uh-huh.
Jason Kidd.
You already know how I feel about Jason Kidd.
I mean, Jason Kidd's one of the
Right,
best point guards.
right.
I'll probably still take out Iverson, but it would be really
Be real close. Like 1A and 1B.
Yes.
I agree with you
It's
that. I
really
agree with
close.
that. I agree with
It's
that.
really, really close. Number 34, Bob Pettit.
Bob Pitt.
50, it's 50s and 60s.
Okay.
People out there. He averaged 26.4 points per game and 16.2 rebounds.
Killing it.
Yeah.
He's not killing it. That's all I like to say to that. He's killing it. He's a legend.
Pettit's Hawks were the only team to beat Bill Russell's Celtics in the NBA Finals. And he put up 50 points in Game 6, which remains the most points ever scored in a finals clinching game.
Oh, I'll take that in a heartbeat. Like, yo, we was the only team. Like, I wear that. I've been wearing that to the day I die. Like, I want that on my headstone. I want that on my
We beat Bill.
Exactly. Like, I want that on my headstone.
Let me be the one
man.
to score 50 points, too.
Yeah, exactly.
I beat Bill. What do you
Yo,
say? We? It wouldn't
he
even
said,
say
he say, all of a sudden, with that boy say, ain't no I in team, ain't no we neither. That's stupid.
George Mikan, 33. 40s and 50s. Got some good stats. 32, Patrick Ewing. I like Patrick Ewing.
But just not more than that.
I do not.
Right.
Because neither one has a championship, and I feel like Allen Iverson put up just good stats.
Not to
And
mention,
carried teams.
yeah, that's about to, you stole it right out of my mouth again. I was about to say, like, he done more with less.
I mean, I think Ewing being the Knicks' all-time leader in points, rebounds, blocks, and steals
Oh, yeah, it's commendable.
is probably why, because he meant a lot to the Knicks.
He
I
meant a
feel like-
whole lot.
No, 31, Kevin McHale.
I ain't got no problem with Kevin McHale.
No, I'm probably Kevin McHale, but I feel like Allen Iverson's better. Moving on to number 30. This is we're getting close.
Uh-oh.
We're getting close.
Here
Steve
it is.
Nash is 30. I'll take Allen Iverson over Steve Nash, but I like Steve Nash. I would take Jason Kidd over Steve Nash, too,
Yeah.
because I'm not sure why Steve Nash is so high.
Because, like, in my opinion, like, Steve Nash was good with the Mavs early on. But, like, when he started playing that wide-open offense under D'Antoni when they was in Phoenix, like, I think that kind of elevated his game. Like, it was perfect. It was tailor-made for him. Tailor-made for him.
I will say he's one of the greatest passers I've ever watched.
Yeah.
Because he did a lot of passes that's like, how did you do that, man?
Yeah. But then again, I could be underrating his time here, but I still
mean,
got
he was-
love for Steve Nash. I still got love for Steve Nash, but Steve Nash was the Steve Nash that we think of was the same Steve Nash I watched play down here in Dallas all the times. Yeah, he pulled a couple of passes that was, solid.
So he was good for the Mavericks.
Yeah, he was solid, but like he wasn't MVP. He wasn't 2-time MVP in it.
He was not. All right. So at number 30, we had Steve Nash. That's not too bad. I can accept that. Now,
Dun, dun, dun.
I don't want to be.
And here we go.
At number 29, we have a man by the name of Chris Paul.
As we go into the world of the haters.
I'm not hating on Chris Paul.
Okay.
He might not be in my top 80 all time. And maybe
Okay.
not even my top 100 if I really just sat here and thought hard enough about it.
Just hypothetically speaking here, real quick. If you had to rearrange your list up until now, like of what you like, you only have this list of players that's in here now. Where does Chris Paul is what 29, correct? Where does he
He's-
fall back?
Where does he fall back to?
Yeah,
Of the players, I think he's better than James Harden and Dwight Howard for sure.
right.
So he wouldn't be 100.
Okay.
He probably would be in the 80s.
The 80s?
As much as I diss Chris Paul, I understand how good he is.
Yeah.
I don't think he better than no Steve Nash as a kid.
Bob
Bob Cousy, Allen Iverson, Tracy McGrady, Vince Carter,
Pistol Pete
Pistol
Maravich.
Pete. Like, I don't think he's better than them.
No. Pistol Pete Maravich, once again, I said in our last time when I realized he was so high, I was like, yo, I don't think people understood, like,
James Worthy. I'm just listening to
right.
players that's behind
It's
Chris
like,
Paul.
people understood, like, when he was making all his shots and getting all his points, there was no such thing as a 3-point line. You go back and look at some of the video of the shots that he was making back then. He was making them at NBA 3-point range.
Oh,
And once again, my knock on, like, Chris Paul ain't exactly like a knockdown shooter.
not even close. He has off and on days.
Yeah. Well, you think about. I'm still kind of curious to see where Steph Curry falls.
Now I'm gonna rip him for that one too. Number 28, John Havlicek.
Okay.
27, Dwayne Wade. I know how much you love you some Dwayne Wade.
But man, yeah, all right. Like he has 3 titles. That's what got it. Like once again, like he's consistently not healthy. that is a knock on the guy. Like you remember he used to have those the commercial for Converse. I fall down, but I always get back up. Yeah, you get up hurt. You get up hurt, dude. Like he shows flashes of like even this season he shows flashes where it's like, yo, man, D Wade back on. Then all of a sudden, I turn on ESPN, D Wade out for the next 2 games, strained knee, lower back spasm. Man, get out of here, dude. Like if he was gonna play like that, he should have saved it. But once again, I can't knock the guy because he has 3 titles. One of them against the Mavericks. So it's like, all right. Like I don't think he's that low. Like I take Tracy McGrady over Dwayne Wade any day of the week. Yes, I sure will. Say what you want to say, feel how you want to feel. I'll take T-Mac any day of the week. Any
I don't
day.
understand.
Any day. I
don't
take Pistol
understand.
Pete
I don't
over
understand.
Dwayne Wade any day. Any day. Straight hate him
As we
up.
go into the world of
Straight hate.
the haters.
I sure am. I'm proud of it. I'm proud to be a hater
You just
today.
your only diss against Dwayne Wade is the fact that he's hurt. And then you gonna say Tracy McGrady better than him like he didn't have no injuries.
I'm saying on my team, if I had to draft today,
Tracy McGrady's nickname is IR.
flex bum. Okay, that's a good one. Still, I don't care. I want Trace McGrady on my team more than Dwayne Wade. Fool's a crybaby, dude. I just don't like that guy, dude. Like I'm man up to admit it. I just don't like that guy. Like personally,
Because he beat the Mavericks.
Personally, like, I really
single-handedly. Single-handedly beat the Mavericks.
You couldn't touch the guy. Like, you couldn't touch him.
I know, he averaged 34.7.
Just go look at the video, man. I'll go back and watch the whole series all over again.
No, you won't. You get mad by the third game.
Because the first two games... All right, go ahead on, man. Go.
Number 26, the last one on the list so far is Isaiah Thomas. I have no problem with Isaiah Thomas being ahead of AI, even though I would take AI.
Yeah,
that's all biased, though. I'm 100% biased when I take AI over Isaiah. The original babyface assassin.
Yeah. The one dude who used to smile all the time, but like you
know,
play on the team called the Bad Boys, like.
And he the worst one. I feel like he was.
Right.
He was the worst one.
Right. Like what they say on that 30 for 30 joint, like behind that smile, like you knew it was just something devilish behind it.
It's ain't nothing worse than getting murdered by someone that's just smiling at you. Like,
right.
All right, stop.
It's like
stop smiling.
Like it's just real talk. Like,
don't take away my
Can you
soul
frown
smiling.
at least once, man?
We don't like you like that. Moving on from the top 100 list, it'll be interesting to see the top 25. Kobe, Michael. You know Michael Jordan.
I'm almost certain
Magic.
Steph Curry goes top 15.
Steph Curry.
He's
The
going to
fact
go
is-
top 15.
I would take Dwayne Wade over Steph Curry.
Let's not forget, they
and
haven't even
Isaiah.
listed Kevin Durant yet.
Isaiah Thomas.
Kevin Durant is going to be top 25. Like, he's in that top 25, so is Steph Curry.
It's unfortunate. Allen Iverson matters both of them so far.
Yeah.
I give Kevin Durant and Steph Curry both a tiny chance of
They would be,
they'll be where he is. Would
they be in your
now they're not.
70s? Steph Curry and
They might be. They belong with Dwayne Wade to me. Well, not. I won't put Kevin Durant there yet because he hasn't won a championship. They both belong ahead of Chris Paul. I know that. Wherever I would list Chris Paul at, I would list them at least 10 above.
Yeah.
There'd be some distance. Moving on from the greats into current NBA, we can go top headlines around the NBA right now. What's up with Blake Griffin?
Man, Blake Griffin is channeling his inner bully. That's what he's doing, man. I think the guy they said he punched out, broke his hand on, it's like 5 foot something, man. Blake Griffin is every bit of like what 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah.
He's up there like
he's-
at the smallest 6'8", I want to say.
Yes.
Come
I will quickly find
Right.
his height.
And I know people have said that, okay,
6'10",
God,
251 pounds.
6'10", only 250 some pounds. I mean, that's
I
not.
mean, only.
I say that with all due respect. Like,
I mean,
from the standpoint, like, he's 6'10", it's like, all right. I'm thinking he's finna go 6. Like, I don't
He's
know,
not
maybe
an
because I
offensive
think.
lineman. He runs up and down a basketball court all day.
Right. Once again, the guy he knocked out was like under 6 foot. It's like 5'8", 5'9" Like, come on.
It happens sometimes.
Yeah, I do, but like, not you can't come out and say it was a dispute against a friend. Like, wait a minute, dude. Like, I don't know about you or how they do it where you from, but where I'm from, or at least I believe, if you're in my inner circle, ain't no way I'm swinging, putting my hands on you. Like, I don't care how frustrated I get, how intense the argument get. I'd rather walk away before I actually just put my hands on the guy who's in my inner circle, who I consider my brother, my family. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just the way I feel about it, but hey, everybody wants to say, hey, he made a mistake. Yeah, I understand it, but so, but come on, man. Like, you can't sit back and be like, well, it was a dispute against friends. Man, get out of here with that, man.
They're not friends.
Thank you.
If they were, they're
Thank
not
you.
no more.
Thank you.
Someone breaks their
Exactly,
hand
it's not-
on me.
Exactly. That cost you another 2 months of your career. At least a month and a half. I'm sorry, not 2 months, up to a month and a half, they say. Where you was already ready to come back. Then most people say, well, they had been drinking. That's still not an excuse, dude. Like, come on, man.
To me, that's the worst excuse.
Right.
For people to give somebody, oh, they were drinking. That's not giving them an excuse to
Thank
act
you.
foolish.
Thank you. If you can't hold yourself better than that, man, get on somewhere. Don't get me wrong. I've had my times where I've been drunk and I go out and I do my thing. But one thing I don't do, I'm not an anger. I've never pride myself on being an angry drunk. Like, oh man, I got some internal issues going on. I'm like ticked off about it. And once again, there's two sides to every story. But all we know is from what we hear is the argument happened with the guy who was I forgot if he was like I know he was a member of the staff, but I think he was like part of like the uniform or committee or something like that. He was on the staff anyway, and like things got out of hand and got physical. But anyway,
Kobe Bryant put up 38 tonight to stop the Lakers' 10-game streak of losing. It was against the Timberwolves, though.
Hey, if you're going to put up 38 against anybody, might as well put up 38 against KG team.
I don't think KG has anything to do with the Timberwolves anymore.
Hey,
I feel like he's just there to put people in the seats that wouldn't usually go.
Yeah.
Even though, because the Timberwolves are focused on Andrew Wiggins, Karl Anthony Towns.
Right.
Their problem is that Tayshaun Prince is a starter.
Once upon a time, Tayshaun Prince was that dude. Like, you talking about a good, long wing defender. Like, back in the, like, I hate to say back in the day to make it seem like it was long ago, but
it was a decade ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. He should not
that
be a
was
starter.
back in the day then. Yeah.
He should not be a starter anymore. Nothing against Tayshaun.
It was funny because, like, I didn't even know he was still playing.
Yeah. He starts for the Minnesota Timberwolves.
He was that one cat that still looked like he was 12 years old. I wonder what he still looked like now. Did he even look like he aged anything? At all?
I'll take a look at his picture.
I'm just saying, like, that was one thing you say, like, Tayshaun.
You know what? Not bad.
Yeah. Who used to look like, man,
Like
he was 10 years old playing basketball with grown men.
he looked like he in his 30s.
All right.
I mean, 13 years in the NBA.
Hey.
He's 35 years old. He a lot younger than I thought he was. I'm gonna be
Right.
honest. I could have swore he was 50.
You said that fool say, you come to pick up my daughter? How old are you? 17? You at least 30. And that's the rated G version of it, if you know what I'm talking about.
No, I hope people picked it up.
You at least 30.
You got Tayshaun Prince starting, and you got.
Hey, early on the season, he was like...
Nah, he's still tops in assists. Like he's on top 5. He's actually played really well this season.
Injury prone. He's been injury prone too here. I think what happened to him is the fact that everybody was calling him like the Spanish Pistol Pete.
Yeah.
And the moment they gave him that name, because I was like, yo, like everybody else, like when I heard it, it's like, yo, this dude, he can come up with passes like
he
Pistol
does
Pete.
come up with passes though. Like
Yeah.
I've seen some passes he put on. I'm like, wow, that's a really nice pass. The only problem is half of those turnovers.
Exactly.
I mean,
There it is.
he's gotten it under control a little bit this year. Like I said, he's played well this year. I'm not gonna bash him too hard because I was bashing him coming into the season. We all know that. Coming into the season,
If
it
someone
was not-
compares you to Pistol Pete, it's like, I don't think you understand, sir. That's a heck of a comparison.
Oh, definitely.
That's no different being compared to Michael Jordan. It's like, oh, he's like Michael Jordan. Ah, crap. Why would y'all even put that on me? Like, I don't want that on me, man.
I mean, very few get compared to MJ when they
Last person is still playing now is LeBron James. And
Yeah, I think like LeBron and Kobe did alright.
yeah, most definitely.
Then again, you have the unfortunate people. Grant Hills
Yeah,
got injured.
yeah,
Tracy McGrady
yeah.
injured.
I mean, you heard Kobe say it himself. He's like, Tracy McGrady was the one person who was like, he thought was the hardest to defend, like, ever. Like, nobody else was more difficult than Tracy McGrady to defend from the standpoint of this guy, he can move well without the ball. He can shoot,
To me,
drive.
maybe I'm overrating him a little bit, but I think Carmelo Anthony could have been Tracy McGrady level with his offensive expertise, with the way he can shoot, the way he can go in the post.
Right.
The only problem is he really likes to shoot the outside jumper.
Yeah.
And he can slash too, but he really likes to shoot from outside.
Right. Because, see, that was one of the things that everybody, like, that was helping Denver out back when they was having that run for a good while over in the Western Conference where, you knew they would make it to the playoffs, but They had that one time they made it to the next round, the second round of the playoffs. But back then, the West was so stacked and so heavy, it was like couldn't really blame everything on them like that. Because a lot of times they was coming matched up with the Lakers. It's like the Lakers had a young Shaq and a young Kobe at that time. It's like it's difficult for anybody to overcome. I mean, think about it.
Not much you can do about it.
Exactly. So, but like you said before, man, like we talk about skilled offensive guys. Yeah, heck yeah, you can't get no better than Carmelo.
What time it is?
Really though. Really though. Really though. Really though.
Things in sports that make you say, really though. Who'd you like to go first?
I'm gonna go first, man. I'm gonna make this real quick, man. My really though goes out to ex-Dallas Cowboy running back Joseph Randle. Why? Cause this guy is talented running back, man. Like he has the talent, he has the speed, but for whatever reason, he don't have it above the shoulders. What I mean by have it above the shoulders is that he don't have a head on his shoulders. Started out with being a klepto off in a doggone mall, stealing draws and cologne. Then from going from there to getting into issues with the baby mama in Kansas. And most recently it's some more stuff. It's, once again, nobody's going to go nowhere near this guy, even though he's a really talented running back. Really talented. Could help a team out as a flex running back, as that second running back, a guy who could be a really good receiver at the backfield, good guy to throw screen to. But once again, the league has turned it to something where it's like, if you have any type of personal troubles, things you can't get your life right off the field, nobody's going to want to invest millions of dollars in a guy who could potentially who could wind up being suspended, weeks, half a season, or a full season. So, Joseph Randle, man, get your life right. Really though?
My really though goes out to ESPN's analyst that which put Chris Paul, number 29, on the top 100 NBA greatest players. I know we already discussed this, but I want to reiterate that Chris Paul is not a top 30 player of all time.
Nope.
Ahead of Ray Allen.
Nope.
Reggie Miller.
Nope.
Tony Parker.
Nope.
This is it. Pau Gasol.
Nope.
Let's say I remind Pau Gasol stats is up there.
That's what I'm saying. Like,
Say I had him ready, just in case.
Like, you talk about a skilled big man, you still don't find a skilled big man like him that can still, not to mention he's an underrated passer. Like, that was one of the things that people didn't realize. Pau Gasol could pull a pass out of his rear end, and you wouldn't expect it from a guy this size.
Earl Monroe.
Nope.
He has a nickname, Black Jesus, so that's enough said.
Exactly.
Enough said. Tracy McGrady.
Nope.
Alonzo Mourning. I wasn't a huge fan of Alonzo Mourning either.
Yeah.
I just really dislike Chris Paul. 66 was Chris Webber. He didn't have any championships, but I would like for people to look at his stats and remember that he was on the Sacramento Kings for a good portion of his career.
Yeah. That's another team. That Sacramento Kings team, even when they had Jason Williams, and then when they traded Jason Williams and got Mike Bibby, that was still a team of pretty doggone good players. Peja Stojakovic at the time was really young. Who's that? Hedo Turkoglu at the time, who was a good shooter from the outside. They still had Vlade Divac. Who was that? Doug Christie.
Chris Paul's ahead of Vince Carter. Pete Maravich, who is 71 on the list.
Yeah.
Really though?
They had it coming.
I might get him again. Because I already know later on the list they're going to have some more people. They had Allen Iverson already. Haven't even done nothing in their career.
You know what I find funny if Jordan came up next?
Jordan ain't gonna call Nick.
I'm just
He
saying.
gonna be. It would be interesting if he came up number 2 to like Magic or something.
Right.
Because that'd be an interesting topic.
Man, like you said, for Jordan, Bird, Magic.
Can't really go wrong with any of them. Kobe.
Yo, had they announced Hakeem Olajuwon on the list already?
Yes. Where is it? Where is it at? See if I can find him.
So Chris Paul is what?
Yes.
Chris Paul is better than Hakeem Olajuwon. Hakeem the Dream.
Yeah.
They out there rap. They out there mind.
Where is he? Trying to find him real quick. But-
He's up there then. If you gotta find him like that, he's up there then.
Well, I mean, it's separated by 10, so I have to click on
Right.
new pages.
I got you.
It's pretty
He could have been in 60. I think he was in the 50s.
50s. I'm gonna check 50s. Because I think he was ahead of Mutombo. I just hit
Right.
Mutombo.
Right.
He should be ahead of Mutombo, theoretically. Just in my opinion. He was in the 50s.
Maybe. Okay. But once again, he was above. Chris Paul is ahead of Hakeem the Dream. Like, okay. No, thank you. No, thank you.
Oh, yeah, I want to take that.
Yeah.
Chris Paul. Nothing against you. But people overrate you. I don't know why. Coming up tomorrow, we get, most likely hit some power rankings in the NBA.
Yes.
Most likely. Maybe
Tail of the tape.
Super Bowl talk.
Yes.
About to get real serious. Actually talk about the football game
Yes.
and not Cam Newton talking about his issues with
Matchups.
the media. All that more coming up on the Sports Machine.